We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you're wanting. It is co-creating at its best, really. You know you are more than these physical beings that you have dragged here. You are source energy, mostly source energy. And when you made your entrance into this physical experience, when you were, in your physical terms, born into this physical body, you projected that consciousness forward. And at your time of birth, there was little resistance in your physicalness that prevented a full flowing of the source within you. So you were non-physical energy projected forward, and you were pure, positive energy. Oh, you felt the discord of the environment into which you were born, and flinched a little, because there is more resistance in the physical, because there is more variety. There is more to fuss and worry about. And you were being born into an environment where there were fussers and worriers around you. Especially your mother, she worried most. But you adapted and adjusted. But over time, many of you, most of you, practically all of you, became so well oriented into the denser, more resistant vibration of your physical place that you began a sort of systematic, gradual disallowance of the fullness of who you are. In other words, you were born from your non-physical perspective, understanding your utter worthiness. But over time, through the process of comparison, partly because others compared you and partly because you compared yourself to others, you began to feel an erosion of that worthiness. It took a while for people to find disapproval in you. And the interesting thing about someone finding disapproval in you is that their finding disapproval in you would not erode your worthiness unless you began to believe them, or unless you pushed back against their disapproval. In other words, disapproving of their disapproval was disapproval, and that also eroded your connection to source energy. Now, none of this is a bad thing. It's not something going wrong. You, in fact, said, I want to go forth into this environment of greater contrast, because you knew that the environment of greater contrast was an environment in which you would begin to personally choose. And as a deliberate creator, as a genius creator, as a creator from that which is source energy, you wanted the variety to help you decide. Some might say, as they listen to our explanation of your beginning here in this physical body, they might say, wait a minute, if I come forth from pure positive energy into something that is denser and more resistance, what would be the point in that? Why wouldn't I remain non-physically focused in the absence of resistance? And we say, because there isn't anything wrong with the variety, and there isn't anything wrong with resistance. It is, in fact, out of that is born the better idea, the new idea. People are sort of clamoring today, worried about a financial crisis that has been described. And we want you to know that always in greater crises, you come to greater focus, and greater focus always brings greater energy. There is always expansion, faster expansion. There is always improvement that is born out of focus. So you literally said, I will go forth into an environment where everything is not exactly as I want it to be, or as everyone wants it to be, or as anyone wants it to be. I will go into an environment where out of it I will choose components that will help me come to personal preferences. And you knew that when that happened, by knowing what you don't want, that whether you speak words about it or not, when you're sick, you want to be well, whether you talk about it or not. If you don't have enough money, you want more money, whether you talk about it or not. In fact, you are communicating vibrationally, constantly, far and away more than with your words. So your words are irrelevant in terms of what you are attracting, unless you are coming into conversation and using your words to cause you and others to focus toward either what you are wanting or what you are not wanting. In other words, the point that we are wanting to make is that you are vibrational beings offering vibration constantly, and it's your vibrational countenance that equals your point of attraction. What you think causes you to feel, and what you are thinking and therefore feeling equals your point of attraction. So if you're focused upon something unwanted, and you've done it long enough that it becomes a habitual pattern of thought, that's what a belief is. It's just a thought you keep thinking, a chronic thought, a sort of personality mood, you might even say. As you get focused upon something and you maintain your attitude about it for a period of time, maybe you learned it from your mother or father or both. Maybe you learned it from your society. Maybe you're learning it as you're watching the impending crises on CNN. In other words, it doesn't matter what caused you to begin offering the vibration that you're offering. The vibration that you're offering right now equals your point of attraction. Now, it's an interesting thing. It doesn't equal an immediate point of attraction. In other words, it doesn't manifest in this moment. Begin again. It is an immediate point of attraction, but the manifestation, that is the evidence of the trend in your attraction, shows up later. In other words, you have to give your attention to something quite a while before it manifests, because it takes a while for you usually to put yourself in a place where you are giving your undivided attention towards something. Most everybody you know gives divided attention to everything. I want it, you say. I want it, but wouldn't it be nice, but wouldn't it be awful? I really like that, but I really don't like that. I hope this happens, but it's not coming fast enough. I really, really need something is not the same as saying, I want it. When you want it and feel good in the attitude of wanting, there's no resistance within you. When you want it, but at the same time you want it, are aware that you don't have it, and in your awareness that you don't have it, you're unhappy that you don't have it, you're not purely wanting. You've got contradicted energy going on, and we got very quiet all of a sudden. And under those conditions of knowing what you want, but knowing that you don't have it, you are offering enough contradicted vibration that you slow it down. So the process of deliberate creation is the process of being aware of what you're doing vibrationally. And your emotions are your indicator of that. So the way it works, the reason that you have emotions, the reason that you feel what you feel, emotionally speaking, is because you are not just the you that you know in your physical body. You are a source energy being. And that source energy part of you has an opinion and an attitude about you and about everything. The God force within you loves you. And when you don't, your opinions are different. The source within you knows your value and your worthiness, and when you don't, your opinion is different. When you feel unworthy, you contradict the core vibration within you. And when you contradict the core vibration within you, you feel the contradiction in the form of negative emotion. When you praise someone and mean it, you line right up with the perspective of your source. When you criticize someone and mean it, you separate yourself from your source. Now many would say, oh, come on, Abraham, give me a break. Esther has said that to us on a pretty regular basis for about 25 years. You got to be kidding me. I'm looking right at something and it isn't a good thing. And you're telling me that you don't agree with me, that it isn't a good thing? And we say, precisely, that's why it feels so bad to you when you look at it. When you look at something in the way that the source within you sees it, you always feel wonderful. When you look at something differently than the way the larger part of you sees it, you don't feel good. And think about what a wonderful thing that is. We're ringing just a little bit. Think about what a wonderful thing that is. That means that you have within you a stable, understood, consistent understanding of life that you can feel your way into alignment with. And when you feel your way into alignment with it, what happens is you become a vibrational match to the source energy within you. And when you become a match to the source energy within you, now not only are you in alignment and therefore empowered, not only are you then the extension of that source energy, not only then are you flowing the energy that creates worlds towards your object of attention, but you feel wonderful. Only then are you the being that you were born to be. Only then are you fulfilling your reason for being. Only then are you tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Only then are you pure positive energy. Only then are you creating in the fullest sense of the word. Only then are you the being that you said you would be. Only then are you fully benefiting by the contrast that surrounds you. Only then are you living the life the way you meant to. Only then are you non-resistant. Only then are you practicing the art of allowing. Only then are you creating your own reality deliberately. In other words, you can focus on anything. You certainly have the free will to do that. And when you focus upon something and you use as your criteria the truth of it, I'm looking at this, you say, because it is true. And there are plenty of others that concur with me, the validity, the truth, the evidence of this unwanted thing. And we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would use very different criteria. The criteria that we would use when we would decide to give our attention to something is, does it meet the test of who we really are? Or is it a departure from who we really are? Now, what we mean by that, so you are source energy, and a part of you comes forth into the physical, and you explore the contrast, and as you explore the contrast, you know what you don't want, and when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and every time you know what you do want, you offer a rocket of desire, a preference of what you want. Now, it's a very interesting thing. When you do that, the source within you becomes a vibrational part of what you've asked for. The expanded version of you expands still further, because when you ask, it's not just given. The larger part of you becomes what you ask for.